everyone, I'm Rebecca. Today I want to talk about critical thinking. Now we live in a world full of information. Every day we read news, watch videos, and see people discussing different topics on social media. Information is everywhere, but not all information is reliable. Sometimes we trust something without questioning it. For example, when we read news, we only look at the headline and think that it's the truth. But when we actually read full article, we may find that the truth is quite different from the headline. So this is why we need critical thinking. And today I want to introduce 4 tips that can help us to develop stronger critical thinking skills. Okay, first one, you need to observe the information carefully. For example, when we read news, we usually only notice the obvious information such as the headline. But critical thinking requires us to look deeper. We need to pay attention to evidence, small details, and even the relationship between different pieces of information. And when we read the news, we do not trust the headline immediately. We need to check the source, we need to look at the details of the content, and even search for other information from different sources. So by doing this, we can understand what is the truth and see the whole picture. And next one, the second one is clarify the question. Okay, you guys maybe think understanding a question is easy. You see a question and you think you already understand it. But sometimes we try to answer the question too quickly without truly understanding it. So if we don't truly understand your question, we misunderstand it. Even you have a great answer, you cannot solve the real problem. So this is why many discussions turn into argument but lead to no result. You can see people discuss on social media. They argue and then it says that they are right. But the real point is they are not discussing the same question. Because everyone sees the question differently. So by taking time to think carefully to know a real problem, you can understand what you need to answer. And after these 2 steps, let's move on to the third step. And I think it's the most difficult one because you need to consider multiple perspectives. People who have stronger critical thinking skills, they do not simply see things as right or wrong, or yes or no. They will try to understand different viewpoints and opinions. They are also willing to look at the issues from different positions. For example, even if I already have my own opinion, I still need to think about why other people think differently. It's because many questions are complex. There is not only one correct answer. So by listening to different opinions and think about more possibilities, we can have a deeper understanding of the issues. Okay, after completing the first 3 steps, last one, you can form a complex conclusion, a thoughtful conclusion. You can make a conclusion based on evidence, based on logical reason. It's not just how you feel. In other words, the conclusion is not just what I think, what I feel. You need to have enough information and enough reason, and which is logical. So, critical thinking is an essential skill today. Whether we are making a decision, evaluating the information, or discussion with others, we use this ability all the time. And in the end, I would like to say, critical thinking skill is not just an academic skill, it's also a life skill. It's because we receive so much information every day. And without this ability, it is easy to believe whatever others say. But not all information is correct, is reliable. So we need to have this ability. And this ability can make us understanding many things more clearly and avoid misunderstanding. Thank you, everyone.